So I've been asked to speak on AI and the future of work, how people can leverage technology to create opportunities for themselves, right? And I think I will start with my story because I'm a practical example of what this topic is talking about. I had no business in the past with technology, trust me. So my story is such that, first of all, I read estate management in the university, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. I studied estate management, a 5-year course. And after that, I've been trying all my life, I've been really trying to interface with technology to see. My first interaction with technology was when I was very small, when I was still in primary school, I think. That was the era we started having computer systems, being used by businesses and, families. So my dad had this, they called it Windows 95. I don't know how many of us here who had an experience with Windows 95 as far back as 1995, 96, 97, 98. That was my first interaction with a computer system, right? I'm going to come to AI and what it means for us, but I'm trying to give you a background understanding of how my journey with the technology that we have today started so many years ago. And I tried to summarize it with three acronyms, MMM, not the MMM, though. So the first contact for me was a magic. That was when I was small. The first time I saw a computer system, my dad, I remember that day vividly. But my dad is a chartered accountant. So they use this in their office. And at some point, he had to bring some home so that he can work with them. I was still very young. I was transfixed. What is this equipment all about? So that was the first impression. It led me, I dismantled, coupled, did all kinds of, children are very, very, explorative in nature, and their curiosity is always charged up when you have new things around them, like toys and so on and so forth. So that was my first interaction, and it didn't leave me. I remember when I also entered into junior secondary year, the first day they taught, there was a period that computer science was not a course, or a subject that would be part of what you do in school. Like you have biology, chemistry, physics, and so on. I remember the first day we had a computer science teacher in my junior secondary school. The teacher came with the system, but prior to then, I've had the interaction in my house, but it was still very rare. It was still very rare. Came to the class that they brought in a computer system. So people were excited, but it's something I've already seen. So he came, set it up, and started teaching and asked the question along the line. How many of you here interfaced with a computer system before? I was the only person that raised up my hand in the class. It was, if I look back now, I imagine how that moment felt and comparing it with the present world. It's amazing how time flies. I raised up my eyes. The teacher did not believe me because, hey, what are you trying to say? Okay, oh yeah, come to the front of the class. And so I came, he told me, I said, well, my dad is a chartered accountant. We have it in our house. The guy did not believe it. It couldn't be just a big computer system that today is like a coffin. I couldn't believe it. Oh yeah, come and turn it off. So I came to the front of the class, turned off the system, all those control panel by the left-hand side of the screen, turned it off, opened Windows, turned it off. As he was still trying, I turned it on again. So I pressed, turned it on. The whole class started cheering and started clapping. It was amazing, but that was the first impression that experience gave me. So I left that stage, tried to study it in the university. No way. The way they will say, jam will jam you, jammed me at some point so many times. I tried 3 times. I couldn't get computer science. That was how I ended up studying estate management for 5 years. But while I was still in estate management, I remember I still tried to learn. I enrolled in AfriHub. There is one institute in the university then that they called AfriHub. So I did CCNA courses. I was just trying to keep in touch with technology. And after I passed out, graduated from the school, I started working. I got enrolled in the bank. right? But that initial contact never left me. I kept on trying. I tried to learn how to code. I couldn't cope, couldn't combine it with my work in the bank because banking job is very hectic. If you know people that work in the bank, you understand what I'm saying. But at some point, because I didn't relent, I kept on trying. An opportunity came for us to be trained by the bank. That era that Japa syndrome started, people were just traveling out of the country. Engineers in the bank, they were leaving. So the bank figured out that we have to train our people in-house. So they were okay. They sent out a mail. I was a customer care that period. You know those people that when you enter the banking hall, they will welcome you. Welcome to this bank. How may we help you? You now go and dump all your problems on their head as if I was the cause of their problem. But it was a very hectic, role to be in. That was my role. I remember I saw that mail. Immediately I saw that mail. So if you have interest in technology, you can apply. We can train you for 3 months and so on and so forth. I applied, scaled through the interview and got enrolled into the tech academy, right? So after the whole process, I successfully learned how to code while in a bank. So that was another contact I had, the second level contact. I'm coming to it. Remember, the first one is magic, the first M in the MMM. Now I'm approaching the second M, which is miracle for me. So I finished all those processes training, got interviewed by our HRO, and got redeployed into technology team as a software engineer. That was the second contact. I started experiencing the miracle of technology. I'm going somewhere. Follow me. I'm going somewhere. What did that miracle entail? I started working from home. What I'm telling you is already showing you how you can use technology to give yourself options, opportunities, and make it easy for you to navigate this universe, right? I started working. If you observe, this is my working space in the house, right? When I want to do presentations and stuff, this is where I come and do my recording. But for the past 4 years, I've been working from the house. I travel a lot. I go to places, but I work from any location I'm in. I just need my laptop open, do Teams meeting, work with my team. We code, we check our work, we submit it. I don't need to step. If I step into the office, it's a choice, right? So you see the miracle part. I moved from 9 to 5. Is it 9 to 5? 7 to 7. Hey, because it's 7 to 7, not 9 to 5. I moved from there to not going anywhere for years. It gave me the opportunity to start learning a lot of things. Went into research today. Apart from the work I do in the bank, leading a team of technology, and engineers, I also have a private-based intelligence and strategy agency that combines natural and artificial intelligence. The idea is for us to try and see how we can synergize human intelligence with machine intelligence. So you have the human part, which is the creativity, the critical thinking, everything that has to do with the human being and construct, combining it with machine efficiency, right? The name of the outfit is Activa Intelligence, a research-based strategy and intelligence outfit. And that is the level I am in currently. So from magic to miracle to meaning, I'm now trying to find the meaning of all these things. And that is my story in a nutshell. So the future of work is something that you have to really pay close attention to because it is already changing. It is already changing. We live in an era I like to call the era of intelligence. The era of intelligence. Every one of you here today must have interfaced with an AI, system or software. ChatGPT, the one on your WhatsApp, Facebook, cloud, and so on. It is no longer enough that you use these technologies randomly because our world has changed. And you have to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. The human condition, human beings are here to work, right? We are naturally created to work. There's something I always say anytime I have the opportunity to speak. I was talking to the student of African Leadership University, Rwanda, couple of months ago. And I told them, It's not enough to be, machine learning students, right? It's not enough to just be learning these technologies. What does it mean for you? What does it mean for your own journey, right? And I was telling them, you have to really understand the era that we are in. It's no longer enough for you just to be in school, like some of you here, and be learning one course. What does it mean for your journey? Because human beings have innovated long enough. There was a time the highest form of technology on this planet was, can say, fire. We moved from crude equipment to manual to machines, and now we are moving into the era of the mind. When you hear intelligence, artificial intelligence is simply trying to tell you that those things that used to be inanimate sort of before, those equipments that we used to have leverage. I mean, you can decide to walk from where you are to Lagos. You know, it's a possibility, right? But you wouldn't do that because that will amount to lunacy at a level. Why wouldn't you do that? Because you have a car. That's a technology that human beings created and gave us to ease the means of transportation. So if you are normal to a reasonable extent, you should not be trekking to your destination all the time. But I hope you know there was a time the fastest means of transportation used to be our legs or camels or horses. So what am I trying to say? Our world has innovated and innovated up to the point that we now have intelligent systems. You don't understand what thinking and intelligence used to reside in humans alone. Skill as something you learn, you exchange with your time, your attention, and your energy used to be only resident in human beings. But today, machines are learning. That's the idea of machine learning. Forget about all the jargons. I can load you with all the jargons, algorithms, and so on, but you don't need it. You need to understand the meaning of what is happening. Because the universe, if you pay attention to this word or this phrase, going on, something is always going on. As a matter of fact, the world, as you know it, this earth is always revolving, first of all, around the sun. That's what gives us years and seasons. It's also rotating on its axis. So nothing is still. Everything is called, there is a state of motion going on every time. We lived in the dark ages. Human beings used to be very crude. We've lived in the forest, we've lived in the jungle, we've built cities, we've built cars, we've built aeroplanes, and today we have artificial intelligence, which is the idea that you can outsource thinking at a level. All the repetitive tasks that you used to do prior to now, a machine can do it and do it generatively, creatively. So you have to start asking yourself as a young person, what does all this noise mean for me? Because there is a lot of noise out there when it comes to AI. And you know, people are creating videos, creating so many, people are using AI to write, to do all manner of things, forgetting the fact that you should not outsource your level of thinking, your intelligence at this point, because that's the only thing that will save you in the future. If you outsource the only thing that machines cannot do, you are the ones with context, you have emotions, you have all the. If you now go and outsource it, when they tell you to do assignments, you go and use ChatGPT. When they tell you to solve a problem, you go and use ChatGPT. When they tell you to do this, you go and use. I can bet you, in a few years' time, you will be a dunce. You can't articulate anything. There is even a sense in how you use some of these technologies. So you have to begin to ask yourself this question around the meaning of AI and the future of work. Work is changing. There was a time, if you agree with me also, that what it means to be working means to be in the farm. Everybody used to work in the plantation, the era of slavery. That's why they needed to get more people from Africa to locations where they need them in the farm. But we are no longer in that era. Machines came and factory industrial revolution took place. Machines replaced those that were working in the farms. And today we have that same evolution taking place again. These AI systems are gradually replacing what we normally call task, work, or skill. I said it somewhere recently in a conference I was speaking in. There was a time when if you just know how to use Excel, you'll be a very powerful person. But today, where is that ability? It's not as if it's lost, but you can't use it to exchange value. So what does this technology mean for you? As an African descent, as a Nigerian, looking to architect, because you have to understand something. Technology is in different dimensions, but I will give you one of the frameworks I use in our consultancy. Anytime you hear the word technology or tech, T-E-C-H, it means four things. T-E-C-H. Number one is the technological advancement that is taking place. That's the technology, the tool, the equipment that will change how we work, because you can't be working the way those in 1990 worked. You have to work in line with your dispensation. So that's for technology. That's the T. You have the E. The E there is the economy. As those tools and equipments are changing our economy and what it means to offer value, exchange of value, if you know economics, you know that it's all about the scarcity of resources and how we can manage it, deploy our comparative advantage so that we can get value. That's where monetary exchange comes in, and so on. So the first part is the change in the tools that we use to work. The second part is the E, the economy. Then the third part, which is the C, is the cultural readjustment. Remember, tech, T-E-C, technology, the economical aspect of it, and the cultural aspect of it. The culture around work is changing. That's where you have remote work today. You have people working from anywhere in the world and so many other nuances that I wouldn't want to go into details. Of course, the last part is the habit. Our habits are gradually changing. Remember that acronym, tech, technology, economy, the cultural aspect, and habit. The way you think today, trust me, let me give you another instance. The phone and all the social media applications we use today, as a matter of fact, the phone as a device changed our behavior as human beings. I hope you know. How many of you have watched Social Dilemma here on Netflix? If you have not seen that movie, please go and see it. It's on Netflix. At least use Netflix to educate yourself, right? Go and watch Social Dilemma. It will teach you one or two things. How you think you are using your phone, no, your phone is using you. You have no idea, because everything that was built in that device in your hand, it was built so that it can always control you. You must press that phone. You must like. You must look for followers. You must chat. You must scroll, endlessly scrolling. It's all engineered. So that's the part of behavior that is changing. And AI is also doing that. People don't think these days. People don't solve problems these days without looking at ChatGPT. It will help you with speed, with time, but you have to be careful how you are consuming it so that you don't relegate your abilities, your brain, which is one of your critical success metrics. You don't relegate it to the background. Because no matter how you use AI, you cannot perform better than AI itself. I hope you know. No matter what AI can teach you, it will still be better than you. So all the learning how to pose, how to create this, see, this is the entry phase. We are still at the baby level of development when it comes to AI. We are still going to come into when they mature. We know the way you give birth to a baby, the baby starts growing, childhood, adolescent, adult. See, if you are below 30 years here, you are going to meet the type of AI that nobody is talking about in our world today. Intelligent, it can understand the world, spatial intelligence, and so on. So all the things you are learning at a level, they are distractions. All you need to do is to sit in those agenda, in those divide that AI cannot do. What are the things that AI cannot do? Relationship, emotional intelligence. As a matter of fact, there's a framework I use called the Human Intelligence Framework. The Human Intelligence. If you don't get anything from this, my talk, my speech, please understand this framework. It is going to give you your guaranteed place in the future. If you want to call it your point of leverage for opportunities, you won't be far from the truth. And this framework is embodied under 3 categories: purpose intelligence, design intelligence, and emotional intelligence. It's a bit deep. I wouldn't have the time to break it down. A lot of confusions that I've seen, especially amongst young people. Oh, so they say AI is taking over our work. What are we going to be doing? You have work. Work will never finish. Are you saying that the problem or the problems in our world, we've solved all of them? No. It's just that the way we solve it will change. You have to find where your place is. That's what purpose intelligence will expose you to. It's not by just doing mundane tasks, working somewhere so that they will pay you so that you survive. No. That era is going gradually. And let me tell you guys something. Africa is a very powerful environment. We live in a very amazing environment. Let me give you an instance. I was watching the news the other day, and guess what people gathered for? I think it was a groundbreaking ceremony or something. Guess what? Solar light. I didn't call anybody. They came, the way people that rule us, they will come together to discuss about a project, a big project, very big project. What was the project? Street light that will be powered by solar technology. No. You have to understand what I'm saying. Am I saying that it's not good? No, it's good. It's fantastic. But come on, this is 21st century. People are talking of how to go to the moon. You see, guys, you have to understand that if you are not careful, you will think that the problems in this environment are the problems in this universe. That everybody is talking about fuel, pengasson, fuel price, name all the devices we have in our environment today. You will think that that's the problem. Power, NMPC and stuff. The world has left us behind. There is a high probability that you will be average till you breathe your last. There is a high probability that you will not amount to anything. And I know, some of us, we don't have this conversation because while I can tell you this field is because I've traveled, I've gone to African countries and, other places. And I can tell you for free. I told somebody something earlier this year. By the time Africa wakes up, the whole of the world or the entire world, the first world environment, they would have gone to Mars. You don't understand. By the time we wake up to realize that, hey, okay, we need to become more serious with our lives in terms of what we do, how we use our resources and time and energy. Majority of the world as we know it today, they've all gone to Mars. But you owe it to you. Nobody is coming to help you. It's you that will sit, take what God has given you, your instrument. Because as we are listening to me now, you have all you need. I just told you my story. I didn't go into details because of time. I would have shown you how if I eat time, I remember when I finished, I didn't believe that I could achieve it. I was telling myself, I'm the one that did this. You learned how to code while working in a bank. Prior to that time, I don't have any business with programming. And today, I still go to I worked in a branch. I still go to those branches and I see my fellow colleagues still sitting and working 9 to 5. They go to work every day. But I've used that little drive to give myself an opportunity. Today, I can go anywhere. I'm talking to you. I speak a lot on platforms and I get paid for it. Apart from the work I do as a technologist, I get paid. So do you want to make money? You don't need to hustle to do a lot of things that we do because we live in a survival environment. But there is a way that if you become observant, be still. If you read your Bible, you will see a verse that says, be still and know. It's not just to know that I am God. You have to be still to know what is really going on. How you can place yourself in what is going on and not be amongst the masses, because there are 3 levels in this life. There are 3 levels. The first level is survival level. Every human being survives. The universe as you know it, there was a time the goal of this planet was to survive. If all the animals and all the beasts then killed every human being, there won't be innovation. So human beings survived. We learned how to hunt. We learned how to build shelters. We learned how to fight cold, fight tigers, fight lions, and so on with spear and the rest. We survived that dark era. It's called the Dark Ages. It's in 3 categories. The Mesolithic age, Paleolithic, and Neolithic era. All these things are the Stone and Dark Ages. You can go and check it out and research further. So the first stage is survival. You survived the womb. You survived being a child. All your parents dared to do was to forget about you for one day when you were still a baby. That's it. Nobody, we have a baby in this house, Abi. You are gone. You cry yourself to death. So I don't believe that nobody ever, some people say, I am self-made. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like being self-made. I don't believe in that. If you are self-made, who took care of you when you didn't know what was going on around you? So everybody survives, but that survival is a level. Some people don't leave that survival zone till they die, but that shouldn't be your portion. Africa, as you know it, we live more with a survival mentality. The next level after survival is strategy. It's strategy. So it's survival, strategy, and the last one is dominion. We claim a lot of things in this part of the world, especially for some of us, or majority of us here that are Christians. We claim Abraham's blessings, which are good. They are all fantastic. But you've not asked yourself, if they give you Abraham's blessings today, let's be practical, please. Can we be practical and, truthful to ourselves? The stories in the Bible, they are meant to give you a reference point so that you can bring meaning from that era into your modern times. You say you want Abraham's blessings, right? Fantastic. If I carry Abraham's blessings today and give you, what value can you get out of it? Just think about it. What are those Abraham's blessings? He had a lot of camels, sheep, goat. He was blessed. The offsprings that came out of him, they were like uncountable number of stars in the heaven. Remember what I said, that era, we needed to populate the world. So when you say Abraham's blessings today in 2025, 21st century, you should ask yourself, what does it mean in my time and dispensation? Because you have to have the capacity to reach it. The Abraham's blessings you are talking of is not going to come in that manner. It is going to come and meet you in your world. It is going to come with your ability to think and build products. Somebody gave us Facebook. Somebody gave us Twitter. Somebody gave us YouTube. Somebody gave us the phone I'm using to record. I'm not with you, but I can talk to you. You can listen to me. I hope you know there was a time. This arrangement was not possible. It will be a magic. If they gave birth to you in year 1470, just imagine it. They took you as you are now, sitting there looking at me with your 2 korokoro and put you back in 1470. Do you know that you will not survive a day? With what you know will stay with you. Do you know that you won't believe what is going on or what used to be the norm then? Are you aware? But people built all these things and gave us. And you are living your life just surviving, waiting for your helper so that you get married, so that you get a job. Human beings like you are creating miracles. These my glasses is a miracle. This microphone I'm using, it's a miracle. I used to imagine, how did Jesus manage to preach that big, the sermon on the mount, a lot of sermon he preached in the Bible, parables, how he managed to say it to 5,000 people. Just imagine that you are in a church on Sunday and the pastor that is talking to you, the microphone went up. You can't hear it. It has happened in 1 or 2 places I visited. Maybe the tube light or some technical issues. This thing is a miracle, guys. It's a miracle. Technology is a miracle. Forget about the fact that we don't mention it. If they take technology away from your life today, do you know you'll be stressed? You'll be terribly, your prayer points will change. Just not having light alone or not having data. Look at what it's doing to you. You are begging, you are pleading, you are. Those things were built by fellow human beings like you. And I ask this question: what stops you from because there's no difference between you and them. It's all about how you understand the world, how you are seeing, your perception, your perspective, your belief, your blueprint, your behavior. Remember all the things, all the acronyms I've listed. The big question is, what do you want to create? This is the era. There is no excuse for anything, any failure. You don't have any excuse. As I'm talking to you now, I'm working on more than 3 projects at the same time, backed with this AI. Building an agency, building an academy. So we have Activa Intelligence, which is the agency. We have Activa Academy. We have Activa Community. And at an appropriate time, I will share so that, if what I'm saying resonates with you, you have to start the journey of asking yourself the bigger question, not just about survival. I like referencing the Bible a lot. I'm a person of faith. It's helped me a lot in my journey. All these things I'm saying didn't fall down from heaven. It came as a result of diligently studying something. The Bible. I don't want this to be a religious conversation in quote, but it is not by power, not by might, but by the Spirit. I can go on and on and on. But the idea is, if these options were created by people like you, don't think of the options you want to create for survival. Remember the zone we are in, survival? You have to strategize how you are going to move as a young person. You have to become strategic in your movement. The course you are studying in school today, if you be honest with yourself, because some of us, we don't like the truth. I've observed it. I've interfaced with a lot of people. I consult at a level. People don't like the truth. They just like the idea of the truth, how it will sound. They just want the idea of victory and freedom. People don't really like the truth because it's only the truth that will set you free. It's not the version of it that is the truth that will set you free. So are you really ready to strategize, or you just want to, because that you have to know, as you are listening to me now, there is a program running in your head, the way you see this world. If I mention 1 million now, there's something it means to you. If I mention 1 billion, some of you, it means impossibility. Some of you, it means, there is this joke. Whenever they are calling amount of money, the only thing that so you are discussing with people, I have an investment that is running into 1 billion naira, and we are trying to scale it up to maybe 1 trillion. Some of you, what your response will be like is, Mado. That's the reason you'll be saying, Mado. You can't engage in such conversations because you're always begging for urgent 2K. Is that how you want to live your life for the rest of your life? Come on, we have to wake up. And to make it worse, you were created in the image of God Almighty, the Creator. You know what that means? It's something I say all the time. We are created by a Creator to be creative. It took me a lot of 30-something years today to learn these things. But you can start now. You don't have to be in survival zone. Forget about what is happening in our world, in our environment in Nigeria or where you are. All those things are distractions. If you decide today that you want to, because you can't just jump from what you are doing to go and start using AI tools. So let me be clear with you, because that's what a lot of people do. And I'll be honest with you, it won't lead you to anything. There is a construct to you today. There is a program, a software running in there is a way you see the world. You have to really understand first, become aware of where you are. Jesus will always tell people, you can't pour new wine into an old wine skin. That is what a lot of people are doing with these technologies today. They just take it and start running with it. You will get tired. Another instance will tell you, how many of you will want to build a tower? You will not first sit down. You will think that he will say, how many of you want to build a tower? You will not first start working or start planning. No, he said, the first thing you need to do, if you decide to build anything, you have to sit down, get a stool and sit down and count the cost. Count the cost of what it will take you to use these technologies as instruments of creating leverage for yourself. You have to count the cost. You have to decide. And it starts from a place of awareness. You have to become aware of where you are first, the environment, what is chasing you. You know, if a lion is chasing you, you won't run the same way when compared to somebody that a dog is chasing. I hope you know. If a chicken is chasing you, you'll just be running, you know, you even be forming while you are running. But if a lion is chasing you, you will you will scale anything. You know, some of you tell yourself, I can't do this, I can't do it, because you've not been pressed to the wall. If your condition pushes you and you are angry with your state of existence, you have an instrument available. We are living in an era of democratized intelligence. It is easy to create and build anything you want to do or create now if you understand what needs to be done and do it. It is possible, guys. I'm a living witness. A living witness. I've not even started. I don't even consider myself as because I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm just trying to get the best version of myself updated. Keep on updating myself. Keep on updating myself. That is how you should think if you really want to take all these. If you watch my analogy, I didn't go into the technical, all those algorithms, take it, watch YouTube, go and create pictures, post. All those things are still banal and low-level conversation. You can do it. You can do it, but I'm speaking from a place of meaning, a place of purpose. A place of purpose. It goes, AI is just a tool. But if you are not careful, if you are not careful, it will override you. This is an era where you need to ask yourself the penitent questions. What am I going to become? What am I going to make out of all these things available? Like I said, you don't have any excuse anymore. You don't have any, you can decide. I can give you a few instances as you are now. You can go online today, create a blog, create something, build a website, and start hosting your thoughts. Start creating value in the world, not just consuming. That's the difference between us and the people that are moving ahead. When I wake up, or when I woke up to this reality, I saw the level of consumption I've done. I started, okay, I need to realign and start being a creator, a producer. You can start producing something from today. That is how you can expose your abilities to the world and create options for yourself. Nobody is coming to help you. You have to remind yourself that. So you have to move from survival to strategy and dominion. That dominion, Abraham bless everything. You have to understand what it means in our world today. So that you not just be claiming it. We are approaching the end of the year. Very soon now, people will be. I was telling somebody the other day, very soon people will start thanking God for the year, how you led us through, how we survived, no kidnapping, no this, no, fine. Good. Gratitude is a good fragrance to wear all the time. But wait, sir, the bigger question is, please, after all this, thanking God for my life, for gratitude, for schooling, for coming back home, for this and that, what did you do with that life? What miracle are you creating for humanity? What solution are you birthing in your world? Can't just be you think God is not aware that you are just hiding under the guise of, I thank you, Father, for giving me life. Okay, they give the full life too. Sir, ma, what are you doing with that? That life is a gift too. We came from a source. We are resources ourselves with the end goal of being resourceful. You can't be thanking the source all the time, which is God. Oh, God, thank you for being God. Thank you for being, okay, fine. I fed you, my son, my daughter. What are you doing with the life I give you? Just like the parable of the talent. What are you doing with the talent that you've been given? You can't just be thanking God all the time. Come on. Let's be truthful. People are building things. People are creating magic. AI is a magic at a level. What the AI can do today, it's unbelievable. And you are here thanking God. Very soon now, New Year, everybody will start committing New Year resolution. You told us at the beginning of this year, we're in October. You told us at the beginning of this year, you told us that this year is your year. You listed out goals you want to achieve. Things, target. Please, sir, where are those things? Or you think we forgot? We can't. God, God does not. You can't. New year, new me. This year again, there is no new you. It's still that same old wineskin. When are you going to be truthful to your journey and to yourself? I'm not here to paint words. I understand that human beings, we have a lot of potential, but we fail to utilize it at a level. We fail terribly to utilize it at a level. This is a call for you to wake up. As a young person, become serious in your life. Maybe in the engagement that we have, I will break some of these things down. I will break it down further for you so that you begin to practically create your future. Because the future is always coming. Remember what I told us? The universe is always going, something is always going on. It is always coming. The future that you are is coming. You are just meant to position yourself, understand your place, and plan ahead. That's all. It's always coming. Goodness and mercy will always follow you. The problem is that we've been taught you pursue, you hustle, you survive, you do all those crazy stuff, which are good, but it's not for everybody. Me personally, I don't. I've woken up from my slumber. I'm trying to create meaning for myself, to solve problems for the world, not just for Nigeria, for Africa, for the world. Your conversations, it ought to be universal. You're not supposed to just be struggling in one corner to make ends meet, ends that are not supposed to meet. Have you ever asked yourself? They always tell us that you need to make ends meet. Why is it that we always have to make those ends meet? What if those ends are not meant to meet? What if they are meant to just be going? Have you ever asked yourself that? They say at times people make this comment, what do you do for a living? I don't answer that question again. No. I was on my way to Zambia a few months ago. We had to connect via South Africa. So our connecting flight was from Lagos to South Africa before we moved into Zambia, Lusaka. When we got to South Africa, we alighted, and as we are doing our, changeover or trying to get into the next connecting flight, I started talking with an Indian. She was in the plane with me though. So, we are going to the same destination. So we started talking. Okay, hi, my name is Agozie. Hi, my name is I forgot her name, all those long Indian names. So we got talking. He said, so what do you do for a living? I said, well, I don't do anything for a living. I just live. And she was like, I could see the countenance on her face. I said, you mean my work? He said, yes, your work. I said, well, I'm a technologist, I'm a clarity architect, and also an idea strategist. Basically consult anything technology, hybrid intelligence, and stuff. He said, oh, that's nice. So why did it? I said, well, the reason why I didn't answer the first question is because, can I ask you a follow-up question? The birds of the sky, what do they do to live? The animals that you see, do they really need to do anything to live in that sense? She said, that's true. I said, all I need to do to live is simply live. I don't have to do anything to live. It's the culture and the world we live in that has lied to us because of the economies that come with that you must do something for a living. No, I live for a living. It's in the Bible. For some of you that read your scriptures, the birds of the sky, they neither toil, but your heavenly Father takes care of them. They are not as compared to us. You don't understand? So if they are living, I should live. The only thing I need to do, understand that I'm living for a purpose. I'm not here to live to survive. I'm here to create meaning, to take what was made and take it to its next level. To be like my Father creator. She was like, that is really, I didn't tell all these ones, so I'm just buttressing it, but I told her one or two things around the statement, and she was like, wow, that's so refreshing. That's so refreshing. I said, I was smiling. I said, that's the way it's supposed to be. make ends meet, live, hustle. All those things are because you don't know your place. It's a journey. AI is changing a lot of the things that we call work today. The future of work is not going to be like you know it today. You have to be prepared. But the preparation starts with you understanding where you are coming from, where you are, and the journey ahead of you. If you miss any of those components, you will stay in the survival zone. You will use AI to survive. You will leverage the tools to survive. You should use those tools to become a king, a sovereign individual in the near future. And I hope I've helped you a bit. I don't know, but I strongly feel that this is what you need to hear when it comes to some of these technologies. This is an era of opportunities. I hope you know. You can make miracles happen easily. Make money easily. I know that's what some of us want to. It's good. You have to make money. But what is the meaning behind it? That's the bigger question. That's the question that you need to start answering from today. I hope that you start seeing clearly. Clarity is important in this age so that you don't just take all the noise and run with the noise and, just become confused with it. And I hope with these few words of mine, I've been able to convince you that you need to wake up to the reality ahead. AI is changing our world. Technology is changing our world as we know it. The only duty you have is to position intelligently. Prepare yourself. Get understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing in all you're getting. Get understanding. And if you do so, you will wield some of these technologies as a king, as a creator that you are meant to be. Remember, I close with this. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. It is the honor of kings to search it out. What are you searching for? Because if you search, you will see. If you knock, the door will be open for you. If you seek, you will find. The bigger question again is, what are you seeking for? What are you searching for? Make that your thought pattern and focus your attention on the things that can create meaning for your life.